Well, it's Saturday night. No, Sunday night, sorry. 24th still. We're doing catch up today. We're catching up on projects we've started and not finished. So this is the Mexican body Tele candy apple red that I got and added it to a neck that I already own from a Squire Affinity Tele that I had left over from a body swap that I did on another guitar. Now, I put the new neck on, and this has worked out good. I had to make some adjustments to get it right, and then I decided I was going to change the pick guard from the boring white to a pearloid white. So that's going to go on there, and that's the last thing that we're going to do, I think. I was thinking about doing something with the fretboard, but I may not. I may leave this one just kind of natural, sort of the way it sort of kind of was going to be, except it's a mongrel anyway. It's a Mexican body with a Xfinity crafted in Indonesia neck. I think it makes a nice blend. We added red strings, the neons, and they look good. Oh, the other thing I'm going to do is change the knobs. I'm going to go to blacks because it's got a black flicker. These are a little bit smaller than those, but still it'll work out okay, I think. No big deal. And that'll be the end of that song. So we'll see how easy this goes. So we're back again. Just an update. Uh, as everything that can go wrong will go wrong. As it turns out, this pickguard doesn't have a hole big enough to fit the humbucker. So it's going to need a trim. I'm going to have to adjust it, as they say in the trade, if I'm going to make it work. The holes on the outside line up. It just doesn't have the depth it needs to cover the opening for the Hummy. So what I'm going to do is I think I'll take it off, match it up with the old one to the new one, and figure out where I need to grind it down. I'll bring it down to the saw and use that like a, what the hell do you call it, a router. I just use a table saw to route it out. We'll see if we can make that work. So that's what's up on the game. All right, so here we go. What we're going to do is take the pick guard off. There's the old one coming down. And then this is very typical. The pick guards that I bought are made in China. This is a made in Mexico body that I got from New Hampshire, from Stratosphere. Pretty good company up there that sells parts. This is not their fault. I'm the one who bought the pick guard. And I bought it on Amazon from a Chinaman because it was a cheap deal. I mean, it was like 11 bucks. You get two. The pick guard that comes on this is a slightly off white. It's not even a full bright white. So I'll show you in a second what a full bright white looks like. And then I'll show you so I got these two pick guards for like 11 bucks, okay? And the color of this pick guard against the other one is much brighter. And the pearloid looks even better, but the hole is too small. So what I got to do is machine this hole to be a little bit bigger to fit that. So the first thing we got to do is remove this. I don't want to take the strings off if I can get away with it. We'll see what happens here. I may or may not be able to pull that off. I might have to release them. They're not locking. There'll be a bit of a pain in the neck to do, but I think I'm going to have to if I'm going to do this right. So I'm going to take the guitar strings off, turn it around, and then measure up the pick guard and see what I got to remove and do that. So here we are. We're going to loosen the strings. I don't think I can do it without taking them off. I think I'm going to have to take the strings all the way down so I can open up the exposure to the pick guard. I've done this before with other ones and been able to get away with it, but I don't think the Tele lends itself to that kind of a situation. I think it's a little tighter. So yeah, I'm just going to take them out. So I'll be back in a second and I'll show you what I got to do with the pickguard itself. And we'll take that out. We'll push the strings all down the other way and like throw them over our shoulder, so to speak, and get them the heck out of the way, and then hopefully be able to reuse them. I don't want to give up the strings. They're brand new, and there's some things I get cheap about. And I like the color. I want the reds. I think I got another pair of reds, but I don't want to have to go to them yet. You know? Conservation. I'm trying to do some conservation here. Sometimes you get away with it. Sometimes you don't. So we'll pull these down. Loosen the other one. I know it's exciting to watch me wind strings, huh? And then I'm going to tighten these things up because I think the heads are loose here anyway. And I don't know that I tightened them up when I did this originally. I might have just let it go and thought I would get away with it. But anyway, I didn't go through there double, did I? Was I that dumb? Everybody always tells you don't put them through twice. Makes your job 10 times harder to get them apart. I hope I didn't. Take a peek and see what I did do here. No, I just wrapped it around the head. Okay, good. And I got a good long wrap too, which will help. Now the next thing we'll do is we'll push all the strings down out of the way. Come down here with me, and I'll show you what we got to get into now in this next part of the adventure. We're going to lift up the pickguard, which lifts up nice and easy. That's nice as just one cable doing the whole thing. So the next thing we've got to do, well, they made a mess under here too when they put this together. This is Mexico. That's supposed to be the good place. That's supposed to be the upgrade. Let me get a smaller drill bit. We'll see if we can power out the if you look down here, you can see there's the springs and the holders and the adjusters. Let's see if we can get these guys out without too much grief. You get it to just let go. So far, so good. By God, I think this is one thing in a row that's working. So it's an awful deep screw. Oh, it let go. Okay, so now I got to get the screw out, hang on to the spring so I don't have to go digging through the bottom of the whole thing. Now these are supposed to be better pickups at the Mexican shop down there. So I don't know if they are or not. Doesn't mean one thing different to me. And I just dropped the spring. Oh, it's right there on the body. Okay. So we got that. We got that. Now you can see, if you look at these guys side by side, the hole is obviously much bigger on the original pickguard. So it's all got to come off the bottom. We look at this, we line up the holes, and we got to take this down from here. So what we'll do is we'll go on the back side and mark it with a marker for where we got to take off. And we'll try to absolutely dead nuts match. Let me do this. If I take these screws and put a couple through this way, it'll hold these in place lined up. Okay, so that lines up the holes so that they all match. And then what we'll do is take our marker. I got to move my guitar out of the way, but I don't want to. Let's just move this out of the way. We'll move that out of the way. We'll put this up here, and I'll bring you guys up with me. And we'll get a marker and mark out the hole. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we got a blue magic marker with a fine tip. Not that other tips aren't fine, but So we'll try to mark this off with the magic and see how that works. It works mediocre to crummy, so I might get a pencil. And I might have to do this on the face. I have to flip this around and do it on the face. But you can see the difference in the hole there, you know, it's fairly significant. But we can beat that. We'll use a saw and beat the hell out of it. So let's flip this around this way. Oh God, those holes ain't gonna line up. So really the critical holes to line up aren't the same, shit, on the front as they are on the back. So I may have to re-drill. Oh, this is going to be a pain in the neck. These holes that line up on the pickup aren't the same either. So they got a different pickup hole. I may have to drill those out and do something different there. So this is going to turn into a royal pain in the ass, but I'm hell-bent to leather on doing this. I'm committed, like any big jerk can be. So the big jerk is going to make this big commitment to do this my own way, quote unquote, like Frank said. I don't think I got to worry about this top part too much. It's the bottom section where it really matters. And let's see if we go in here and mark where those holes are, so we can see where the see where I need to drill. All right. So if I take that, now you can see there's the old holes here, and that's where the new holes need to be, so that this will work and hold the pickup in the correct place. So should we drill the holes first and then go downstairs? I guess we could do that. So let's go get a small drill bit and we'll drill a couple of holes in through here and get those guys ready. All right, be right back. So we're back again. Now we've got, as so many of these projects work out, when you mix countries of manufacture, you end up with different stuff all the time. Now I need a drill bit that's going to be big enough to make that same size hole, but not make it too big so that the head doesn't get lost. There has to be enough room in here for that screw, the screw head. Where the hell did it go? I lost my screws. Oh, here they are. I buried them under the guitar. And dig them out again. So that the screw head won't come through, and will hold those things in place. So let's start smaller, and then we'll test it with the screw when we're done and see how that brilliant plan worked out. So let's take, and we'll use this as a little bench. You see what I'm doing? Probably got my hand in the way. So we're going to go right there and make a pilot hole. For where the screw ought to be when I'm done. Now that's one. Now that's just a starter hole. I'm going to have to drill another hole and make it a little bit bigger, I think, to allow the screw to pass easily. So what I'll do is I'll send this thing through again and then just make it a little bit bigger by reaming it out kind of, and then we'll have enough room. I think, for the screw to pass through easily, because it's got to pass through to allow the screw to travel. You know, that's what does the adjustment up and down. Ooh, that's going to be good. Better to be lucky than good. I'm glad I didn't go with the bigger one. It probably would have been too big, and the head would have gone right through. We're going to have to live with a little hole, a second hole. Only in America. All right, so let's see if this is going to fit through the width. Because if I don't want to cut any more than I have to. I don't want to mess with any more of this pick guard than I have to. So if this will fit through the width, and it's not gonna, so I do have to screw with the width. What a pain in the ass. So we're gonna have to, this may fail, this whole project may fall flat on its ass, and I'll have to go back to the original pick guard until I can come up with a plan B. All right, so I'm going to take this down to the shop. Maybe I'll bring you with me. Okay, now we're down to the super secret shop where I do some of my specialty. Really get in trouble with stuff work here. What I'm going to do is use the saw like a router and take out a bunch of this stuff in between. And I'll use a file upstairs to get some more width. But it's easier because I got a lot of material to remove to use the saw on this part of it. And I'll do it face up so I don't scratch up the top. So here's a little bit of noise. Try not to gouge it up like that. Right on the line. Okay, now you can see the lines that are there. I screwed up the back a little bit with just a little bit of a hit. That ain't going to make any difference. It's never going to show. And we'll file it down. Boy, that took a pretty good gouge out of there. But anyway, that's the way the back looks, and it'd be roughed up pretty good if you did it the other way around. But I still got the plastic coating on this here to protect the front. And we've got the mark still that I need to use, and I'll do the rest of it by hand upstairs. But that gives you a rough idea of how we rough it out in the secret shop. Okay, so now we got it fitted. It fits perfectly. I'm going to I'm going to connect the, what do you call that thing? That funny thing down there that makes all the noise. The pickup. All right, we'll hook up the pickup. I got to get my screwdriver ready. Where's my little screwdriver? I could use that one. I got it right here. All right, so let's do this. And we'll see if we can get this connected to this and see if that's going to go through the correct way. Is that the right one? Or is that the old hole? No, that should be the new hole. Right? Right, right? Body's aching all the time. Too late. I've got to go. Gotta leave it all behind. Faded through. I told you I got queen fever here watching that movie. So let's see if we can get this. Whoops. I just dropped the spring. That wasn't too swift. Just the right place. Just get a couple of turns in. Which we didn't. We missed. And now we lost the spring again. I know you can't see a damn thing I'm doing. Trying to find the hole that the screw goes into. And the spring kind of pushes back. That's the correct place. Pick it up. I think we found the right place. All right, that's one in a row. Let's find the other one. I'll put this through. Maybe this time I can show you what I'm doing. All right, if you see, can you see? You're not even seeing what I'm doing, are you? All right, let's bring this over and we'll try to line up the screw hole with the spring. And then hold that in place. And use the electric screwdriver because it catches it quicker than me. Are we getting it? Nope. We're not making the right connection. So we're in the neighborhood, but we're not going down. There we go. There we go. Lift off. Houston. We have liftoff. All right, so there, now it fits, okay? So we've actually completed the job, except for putting in a few crummy screws. So the next thing I'm gonna do is try to peel away the plastic before I put the screws on, because it makes it so much easier trying to peel this stuff away. After you've placed it, it's a royal pain in the neck, because the screws want to tend to grab it. And I can clean it up when I'm done. We've protected the other surface, and that's nice. I think there's a second layer on here. Usually there's two. Let's see if we can peel the second layer away and get rid of both of them in one shot. All you gotta do is get a little piece started. There it comes. All right, so here's the second piece. They do a double plastic layer when they build these. I don't know how the hell they do that. It must be just, they must buy it that way, I guess, double thickness. I did another pick out earlier tonight, and I think I still got that last layer on there. Because I could see little bubbles, but I couldn't get an edge to pick up. And I scared myself and left it. So we're going to pull that up. We'll get rid of this plastic debris. Now there's another little piece over here. I'm going to get a little gripper thing I got. And if I can find it. I found it. Here it is. It's like a little tweezer. We'll pull that up. See, you get these little pieces of plastic that just have tenacity and just don't want to let go. That's why I try to peel that stuff away. That's a pretty pick guard, especially once you get all the dumb plastic off. So now all we got to do is sink the screws in there. I may even put black screws in there. Wouldn't that be cute? Just as an opposing view, you know, to give it that ebony and ivory kind of look. So let me go dig in my box and see if I've got enough blacks to to do the job. If I do, we'll do it. Be right back. All right, so I did find enough screws, the black ones. So we're doing the ebony and ivory thing again. We'll use a power screwdriver just till they catch, and then we'll go back and hand tighten them with a hand screwdriver so we don't pull the darn things through the thread, through the wood, so to speak. That works good. Okay. Now we'll go with the theme of what we're trying to pull off here with the different color stuff. So that's that. Did I do my other drill bit? I used it and put it down somewhere. Oh, here it is. All right, so we found the drill bit. We'll put the tools back in the rack, and then we'll see if we can unscrew this guy, if this is the right size hex. And the chances of it being right are like slim and none. So let me mess with this for a minute. I'll get back. I want to go with the black heads, but I couldn't find one that would fit. These are too small. I got these other ones that I found that have a plastic seal inside. And what I've been able to do is use a screwdriver tip to ream out the inside so it'll make it fit over that post as a press fit. And that's what I'm doing over here right now with this drill bit and this screwdriver. With the screwdriver bit. And I'm just sort of chafing it out. And it worked on the other one. And I think it's going to work on this one too. I just got to give it a little bit more of a grind. And then we'll put it in. The other thing I found out is that this knob here on the tuner goes up and down. I don't know what that does. So I've learned something new about the guitar, totally by accident. This is a Mexican Tele. All right, so that fits now and stays on. We fit it in, and then this knob goes up and down. So we'll have to see when we plug it in again what that actually does. I don't have any idea. So we've learned something new. We've dealt with something new. We found the problems. We fixed them all. I've got the black screws in the pick guard, and I'm just going to tighten them all down now with a hand screwdriver just to make sure they're all snug. And then we'll restring it and clean it up a bit and go back to work playing guitar. I like the black look. That looks nice. So here we are, just tightening. That's good. So we'll restring it, set the pickup height, and I usually do some kind of a fingerboard design, but I don't know that I'm going to do anything with this. At least I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to wait a while, let this guitar settle in my mind of what else I may do with it. I want to keep this kind of one of the very few that's kind of a stock, if you will. So the only real defect is now by the pickup there. I've got two holes because I had to drill out because it was in a different place on this pickup than it was on the other. On this pick guard rather than the other one. So we'll clean this mess up a little bit. We'll clean up the pickups. We'll shine those guys up. We've got our new black knobs. That's pretty good. So we're going to restring. That's the next event coming up, is to try to save the strings and get them back on. So we'll bring you up the other end and we'll try that. We're back here again. And like I said before, I was going to check all these nuts and make sure that they're basically tight. And these are 10s. And they're kind of loose. So it's a good thing I looked at them. This neck had been sitting around for probably 6-9 months from when I did the other project. And I never looked at these again. And these things are only held on from the front. There's no screws in back, you know. So that's that. So we're ready to start stringing again. So let's begin with the fatty. Didn't mean that as a derogatory term. It's just an expression. The fat E, meaning the low E, low. So when I would normally wrap these, I might still be able to get away with doing that. All right, let me see if I can get these to wrap, because they're already twisted around, and we don't want to gum them up more than they already are. So that's not bad. So we'll start there with that one. We'll get the winder and give it a wind. 1, 2, 3, go. Well, that one's gone fairly well. So there's 1 down with 5 to go. Now all you got to do is untangle them. The problem when they're all wound up like this is they tend to get all tangled up in each other. Something fierce like this. Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. We'll take it. Make sure they're out of the way. And then we'll stick it in the hole again and try to do a spin. Like we just did on the first one. Trying to get it back into that hole again without too much trouble. Oh, we did it. We did it, and it wasn't too much trouble. We'll try to get under. I think I'm not going to fight for any more winds. We'll just do it the old-fashioned way by hand. Wind it down under high-speed manual tension. How am I doing? I'm down below. Good. Okay, that's 2. Let's see if we can get another one out of here. Oh, yeah, it's tangled up in the pen. They're tangled up in each other. Strings love to be together. It's like family. Good to go. I'll finish this up. Well, there we are. We've got everything all put back together. It's all strung up. I'm just going to tune it up now and get it ready to play again. We'll set the pickup height again and get that back where it belongs. We'll check the string heights and stuff and make sure they're okay. I think they already are. It should be the same as before. Back in a minute. Here's a completion video for the Mexico Indonesia neck Mexico body Tele. Come out pretty good. We had to do a little bit of fiddling around at the end, but we fixed it all, and we got to play it fairly well. Pick up, play, and show you how it plays. Show you how it looks. Oop. It unplugged itself. It's got an automatic unplug. The plug needs to be worked on a little one knob. I found that by accident. That's it. So we replaced the neck. We added the neck onto the Mexico body. It's a squire all the way around. one part built in Mexico, the other part Indonesia, and we've added now the perloid. We changed the knobs to black. We discovered a push-pull button on one of these things. I never knew what that was all about. We had to remount the pick guard to make it fit. We replaced the piece. We put black knobs on there, and it's a very nice looking red and white Tele. That's it. Game over. Thanks.